Hello, welcome to Direct Joy. My name's Cherie Joy, and I am a psychotherapist, an ecotherapist, a psychologist. I'm a mum, a wife, so many labels. I'm an animal lover, a world lover, and I love my job. I love to bring about mental and emotional well-being using the skills that I have to help people that are in need, traumatized, stuck, a little bit confused, a lot confused, anxious, depressed. My background is in the NHS and I'm now in private practice. Been in private practice a long time, even when I was working for the NHS. And there's a lot of information that psychologists and therapists and coaches have. And one of the things Direct Joy does is give some of that information out for free. I think it's really important that we share in communities online and in person some of the wealth of information that we have as people. And I get asked a variety of questions through different mediums across the week, across the weeks, across the months. And I like to pull them together to bring about healing for everyone, because we all have questions. And one of the main things that is really difficult is to actually bring about those questions. Being seen, being vulnerable, being exposed is a massive thing for a lot of people, if not most people, at least one point in their life. And some people throughout a great deal of their life for many, many reasons. And the thing with therapy is that it operates on different levels, right? You can be in therapy forever, okay? The better it gets, the better it gets. But also you can do some short-term work, and also you can dip into it and you can do some work when feels important. If you've got a safe place that you feel held, if you've got an environment where you feel you really want to get stuck into whatever that work is. But the first step is kind of acknowledging that actually you need to expose to yourself what is hard to be seen. And that's what today's Direct Joy is about what it's like to be exposed, what it's like to be scared to be seen. And that brings up a really, really complex two topics that come up a lot in therapy, that come up a lot in psychology. And it's talked about a lot, right? And that's shame and guilt. And it's always very, very difficult to get hold of shame and guilt. The defense mechanisms kick in fast and hard. We go deep into our unconscious, we go deep into our body. And there's a lot of pain when it comes to shame and guilt. Generally, because a lot of this stuff is seeded in our really young years. And it's also reiterated as we go about our lives. So today we're going there. We're going to those places that we don't want to be seen. And we're doing it with a smile, because that's what joy is about. Yeah, that's the aim. The aim is always joy, peace and grace. And any of those of you that work with me or know me on any level know that actually that's where we're always going. It's always about the joy, the peace and the grace. So what are we so worried about? Yeah, and I suffer from this too, right? Suffer, literally. What are we so worried about? Being seen, yeah? And I'm not talking about, parading around on the beach in the full moon and, dancing naked, which, go for it if that's what you're up for. But, what is this about, this difficulty of being seen physically, emotionally, mentally, but also in relationships? What is it? Because I think I know that they're really closely linked. The fact of not wanting to be exposed. And I would bet my bottom dollar that actually this is about the shame and the guilt that comes up. So we tend to blame ourselves. We tend to find a place where we feel ashamed that we're not worthy of being seen. We're not worthy. We have self-doubts. We're not giving the appropriate response. So therefore just, kind of hide away from it, go red, get embarrassed, go sweaty. And today it's very hot, so that's why I'm sweating. But also, even me, that all of us, not just even me, all of us, right? That thing about being seen, that putting the word out there and saying, I am me, I am Cherie, I am who I am, and I am good at what I'm good at, and I'm not so great at what I'm not so great at, but just actually really being me. And, am I being the good girl? Am I being the good boy? Am I being the good woman? Am I being the good man? Am I being the good child? What is it about me that actually I'm so scared of being seen? What's going to happen? Where am I not acceptable in society? Where am I not acceptable in my family? Where am I not acceptable? Where am I not acceptable in the social realms that I want to be? Where do I need to feel ashamed, or where do I need to feel guilty? And you would have heard me say this a million times about the fact that as we get older, a lot of the quotes that we see, a lot of the gifts that we see, a lot of the really important people that we see, especially like personalities or writers, or people that we have regard for, when they get older, they get asked what would they say to their 18-year-old self, what would they say to the younger generation, and they say, give less bother. I'm going to change that word just for the audience today and social media, but give less of them. What would it be like if for you to be seen in the person that you are, the way that you are, the way that you go about the world, to just give less of them? Now, for me, that's been a really important part of my journey, just to care less about what other people think, to be accepted by myself, to be accepted for who I am, the work that I want to do, and the way that I like to do it, and the way that I like to deliver it. For example, Direct Joy, a lot of people would charge a lot of money for this, but actually I really want to provide free mental and emotional well-being. Get it out there, have it heard, have it inform our parenting, our teaching, our work, our families. And I learn through this too as well, because actually it allows me to think, where's my life going? What does this mean to me? How do I want to be seen? How do I want to be visible? And where do I feel the shame? And I hope by me using the word I today, you don't take it too much of the personal, but you allow it to fall personally for you. Where is it that you want to say, actually, that's not my private life. This is my life. This is who I am. This is me as a being. This is what I am and what I stand for and what I know I have a true voice for, that I'm not ashamed of and I'm not guilty. Because, we are worthy. We're worthy of everything we do, and we're accepted, and if we're not, does it matter? And that's one of the key points of this, okay, is does it matter? Okay, so let's think about mattering. Do you matter? What does it feel like to matter? How do you feel when you matter to someone? How do you feel when you're held in mind? How do you feel when you are attached and considered and cared for, and you know that person is going to drop you a message? You know that person is going to be there. Even if it's just a little thing like, oh, have you heard so-and-so's on Netflix tonight? Or have you heard... I know you like this thing, or I picked this up at the shops for you, or how was your day? How was your week? How was your holiday? How's work? Oh, I hear that you've got exam results coming up this week. How are you doing with that? I know they're not here yet, but Thursday's coming fast. What's it like to matter? Because when we matter, we have a feeling of elation. We get, and we can get addicted to this, right? We matter because, we might be on a dating app and we get the ping, or we might be on social media and we get the likes, or we get the followers. That's something different. What's it like to have the feeling that you really matter? Like heartfelt matter, heartfelt consideration. Because that's one of the deepest, strongest bonds as a human being that we have. Bonds, drives, I gave it away there. It's the drive to bond. It's the drive, and we're not talking about attachment disorders here. We're talking about a human, basic, huge strength of a drive to bond. So, I'm going to take it slightly off kilter a bit. When we're teenagers and when we're around teenagers, sometimes there's this, and I worked with youth for a long, long time, and I was a youth for a long, long time, still am in many ways. There's this thing about the fact that, they're attention seeking. They're doing it for attention. And this can come about for a variety of different things. This can be for some severe self-harming behaviour. This can be through rebelling. This can be through mutism, selective mutism. This can be through a variety of different things that show up, okay, that the response from a societal, and that can be macro or it can be smaller within our communities, is they're doing it for attention. Now, this can happen through adult times and down to toddlers as well, but we do find it particularly a thing around teenagers or tweenies. My response to this is always one of anger. Righteous anger, yes. Because yes, we all deserve attention. We all deserve to matter. We all deserve to be held in mind by those around us, those that love us, those that care for us. And something's going wrong. Something's up. And I don't use the word right and wrong very often, but something is up if somebody is calling out for attention. Something is up when we call out, when actually it flips the other side and the fear of exposure of being seen becomes a yell of being seen. I need to be seen. I need to bond. I need to attach. I need to hold on. So I hope that's helpful for you to think about that actually what happens when we go to that tipping point of actually the exposure to be seen, and when that goes to, oh, they're attention seeker. And what's it like in your family? What's it like? What has it been like in your family of origins? What's it like for you in the way that you relate and the dynamics of your relationships? Because when we're able to think about what happens to us when we matter, that feeling of being listened to, recognised, understood, that is really, really important when we can then use that as the base to be able to say, okay, is being seen an exposure? Does it have to be? Am I worthy of it? Am I having an appropriate response? Is this about my offering to the world of being seen and being exposed? Is it really a fear? Do I need to fear it? Or is it a natural progression of who I am at any phase of our lives? Which then, when we're able to think about the fact that actually, yes, this is acceptable on all different levels, even if we're going against the grain of what may or may not be, when we allow the shame to fall away, when we allow the guilt to be listened to, when we allow those voices, we don't shut them down, we hear them. We generally tune into them, we listen, we give them time. Then in our heart, we can really, really affirm actually what's really going on with wanting to be seen, needing to be seen, and the appropriateness of that, and what that actually does to help ourselves and to help others. It's a tricky one because being visible is tough. We want to, have the right things, and we want to be the right person, and we want to be accepted and loved, and we don't want to be shunned or betrayed or rejected. Who wants that, right? And that's the thing, is when we put ourselves out on that perch, potentially we may fall. But what if we fall? What if you fly? And that's the risk. And the more that we hear, listen, and affirm ourselves in what we're doing, and the ability that we have in that, in our emotional, our mental, and our physical health, we can affirm actually every step of the way that we have this, and we're holding ourselves and those that hold us in mind, those that want to hold us in mind, for those that actually it feels like we're held in mind for, and we hold them in mind. That's the key. That's the dynamic. That's what we want. And that's where then the fear can be recognised and be moved beyond. So I hope that brings some watering to a very dry place of shame and guilt. Because we tend to ignore this stuff. We tend to ignore it and think, well, don't want to be a celebrity. I don't want to be seen in this way. I don't want to be seen in that way. But actually, we get a choice. The choice of how you're seen, the choice of how you're exposed, the choice of what happens with fears are dependent on many, many different things. But usually it starts with you. It's all about you. One of my favourite sayings, it's all about you. So I wish you a wonderful Tuesday. I think it's unlikely I'll be back next week, but I will see you the week after. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I hope that it's bringing you lots and lots of blessings and peace and joy and grace, as we do need during the summer times as well, because, you know, it's hot. And yeah, I hope things aren't too hot under your collar. For anyone getting their results on Thursday or this week, yeah, I hope that goes well. And if this brings up anything for any of you that is a little bit tricky, please do get in touch. Because I love to hear feedback. I love to hear how Direct Joy is affecting you. I am still working on my new project, Wise and Joy, which is going to be a little bit more of an in-depth, but not, yeah, it's not therapy. It's an in-depth Direct Joy. So that will be coming soon. And yeah, so look out for that. Follow me on all the social media stuff. I am going to be exposing myself a lot more. I am going to be a lot more visible, because that's the intention that I'm putting out there. And I'm affirming that for myself, because I know that, yeah, I've come a long way in the work that I do. And I really, really, really want to share it. So, yeah, watch out for more blogs. Watch out for more membership packages. Watch out for more stuff. And, yeah, if you really, really need some therapy too, get in contact. Yeah, there's nothing, you know, and if it's not me, I can find you somebody who is equally awesome at what they do. So, yeah, get in touch. None of us need to suffer. Yeah, we can join together. All right, so take good care, and I wish you lots of love, and I will see you in a couple of weeks.